Welcome to the Freedom Savage Podcast.
I don't wanna talk.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Douglas, or you can call me Freedom. Welcome. Today is episode 1 of my first podcast, and I am so stoked. I am so excited. Today, the people who will be joining me are some of my best friends, and we are really going to get into some things, okay? I got this idea because I was watching a lot of podcasts, and I just decided, hey, why not? So, precaution. Y'all know where I live, and the window is a little cracked open because if it's not cracked open, it's going to get really hot in this room. So if y'all hear a car vroom or zoom by, my apologies. Not closing. Start. Oh. Make sure, because I know most of y'all are probably going to be seeing this from YouTube. Like, comment, share this video, subscribe to my channel. I don't know if I told y'all before, but I think I did. Y'all really, really need me. So yeah, y'all might want to subscribe so y'all could get notifications when I upload more videos. Also for music, because it's like, come on, like I'm the shit. All right. Our first segment is Freedom's Q&A session. So basically, I did one of those little poll shits. Y'all can roast me if y'all want. I think it's a poll. I did one of those little poll shits on Instagram. So I basically just asked people to, ask me questions. And some people responded, not a whole lot, but, some people responded and I appreciate that. So, hey, right. One person asked me, what's something that you use regularly that you wish you didn't have to? Something that I use. I'm dead ass trying to think because I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you consider the best decision you made in your life so far? Sorry, you guys, I'm gonna get some water. Actually, not water, I'm getting juice. My throat is hella dry. First question is, why? Because I said so. Question mark. What type of exercise do you like the most? None. Net. Favorite smell? I was asked this in school a couple of weeks ago, not giving y'all the context for why. I really like the smell of burning pine cones, for real. I like that smell. Good food, a Black woman cooking, my mother cooking food, my sister cooking food. I just like the smell of cooking, especially when it's done by Black people. What do you think about when you're alone? That's a question. We just really went deep, and the podcast is not even like, we're not even all the way into this podcast yet. Well, I do think about music and kind of just like how I want to map out my career and stuff. And this is kind of part of the process, this podcast, the YouTube channel, blah, 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 blah. I guess I'll just, how you just say, mess around and say it. I think about many things. I think about a potential love life for myself. I think about just my regular life and who I may encounter. I sometimes go too a little deep in the vault, and I'll probably have some negative thoughts about the people I love the most, God forbid, like getting hurt and stuff. Like that's kind of a fear of mine, so sometimes that might fade in and out. Most recently I've really just been having thoughts about drifting, like just feeling like I'm flying through the world. Like I've just been on this big, like, mystical, natural, soapbox lately. I've just been on that like lately, just like I've just been really thinking about flying, aside from all the other thoughts I just mentioned. Like I've just really been thinking about flying, just soaring, yeah, really wish I could fly. What is money to you? Is it everything? Let's just say I need it and I'm gonna get it. Period. All right. Last question. What's your favorite color? If you know me, you know that my favorite color is green, but I'm also a big fan of red and sky blue. All right. That was my Q&A session. Really, really like that. I mean, a lot of people didn't even really ask me questions for real. I guess, it's because nobody cares. But no, I do appreciate the people that did ask me some questions on there, so that was great. For those watching, this is my segment, Freedom of Speech. And basically, this is a forum where we are going to have conversations, basically about regular topics, serious topics. It don't matter. These conversations may be with people or they may be, by myself. But yeah, I find this segment to be really, really interesting. So let's get into it. This is my friend Nakaya. Nakaya, you can introduce yourself and say your pronouns.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nakaya. One of Douglas's high school friends, and my pronouns are she and her.
My first question for you is: have you ever experienced the burnout?
I literally fell, like I fainted on myself, on my ground. I don't know how long I was out for, but my mother came in. She's like, "Come on, you have to go to school, you have to go to school," and I was just so out of it. I had to tell her, like, "Listen, mother, I just can't right now. I just really can't." And thankfully, being a nice person that she is, she allowed me to. She understood. She knew how hard it was working. She didn't condone it, but she understood. So she let me stay that day. But that was the worst burnout I've ever experienced in my life. Never again. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, with me, I don't know if you could call this specifically a burnout, but there have been many times in my life where I there'll be times when I'll go days without writing music or even listening to music. Like there are days where I'm kind of like, okay, music is just like a no-go. And I call it my musical limbo, because it's this thing where it's not like I hate music, but it's also not as if I'm all for it right now. I'm kind of just like, I kind of want to act like it don't exist. And sometimes that's usually when I have writer's block. And I actually hate going through those periods, but I don't try to fight my body because, a lot of my songs are just written naturally. It's whatever my mind comes up with. I don't write on the spot. You know what I mean? So I don't know if those specifically count as burnout, but yeah, I've had friends, obviously you, I had friends that have experienced it, and it's a natural thing to go through, and it is really hard to pick yourself up out of it. But
it's so hard.
I think probably a great solution for those out there who have experienced burnout is probably just to sit down and ask yourself, why are you burnt out?
Exactly.
Kind of go over. That's what I love to do, especially when I have problems. Go over. You could write this down. You could talk to yourself, record yourself on your phone and talk to yourself. That's what I usually do. And just go over, hey, what's making me burnt out right now? What is little things that I could do to fix it? And don't do everything at once, because it's not going to work. Don't commit yourself.
Yeah, like me. Me.
Do not commit yourself and say you're going to do everything at once. Give yourself time. Give yourself time. And this is also for people who are in school, whether this is middle school, high school, college, I don't care. Whenever you have work, you have a lot of work to do or make up, give yourself a few assignments or one assignment at a time. Put yourself on a regimen. Break it up. You're not going to do everything at once. Do not tell yourself you can, and do not force yourself to, because that is not good for your mental health at all. Definitely not. And it's really not good for your emotional health. My first step, and I feel like the other steps kind of come along as soon as you figure out the first step, but my first step is always just to break down exactly what led to your burnout, how your burnout became the way it is, now, if you're experiencing it right now, and just figure out little ways to fix it, depending on your situation. All right, your turn.
My turn. Okay. Douglas.
Yeah.
My first question for you. In 10 words or less, well, not really a question, more of a statement. In 10 words or less, give a message to your inner child or past self.
Got you.
You told me deep questions, so.
No, we got it. We got it. We got it. I live for the deep questions.
I had to bring it,
All right. So I would tell myself, I'm going to hold up my fingers because you already know I'm a 6-year-old at heart.
Of course.
Love yourself and be yourself always, no matter what, period.
I love that. That's exactly. I love it.
That's exactly what I would tell myself, just to love myself and be myself and kind of just, go along with the road, because here's the real tea. The Douglas at 9, the Douglas at 5, and the Douglas now are practically the same person. The only difference is mitosis. That's really the only difference. Like, I still have just as much as an enthusiasm for music and life as I did when I was 5 and 9 and 11, blah, 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 blah. And me at my age now, being the grown man I am now, I still have that same passion and that same love. If I didn't, I wouldn't even be doing none of this. So I would just tell myself to continue, loving myself, because I went through a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Kind of growing up with a sick parent and getting bullied and having to find myself a lot, and growing that term of like self-love, growing that concept of loving myself. And that actually helped me write more, start my own blog website, where I would like write little blogs. They weren't grammatically correct because I was like 10, 11. Like writing stuff down, just writing it away, whether it be like music or anything, like it just helps so much. And I'm just so glad, like, I thank God that I was able to, like, find myself. And I'm still finding myself. I'm still walking on the tracks. I'm still on my path. I'm just doing what my heart desires. And I think that's exactly what I would tell myself.
Plus, you're a college student now, so you're supposed to be finding yourself. Right
exactly.
Now. So,
like me also, like I always told my friends this, but I feel like if I really had the power to go back in the past and speak to myself, I think my younger self would be scared of me, because my younger self would be like, "What the hell is this?" And I don't want to be like one of those future people in movies that's like, "Come here, my child."
Sentimental.
Like I know how I would react to myself. You know what I mean? So I'm not the person that will do that. But like, I would try to just I wouldn't tell myself nothing about the future. That's nothing I would not tell myself nothing about the future, because I don't want that he'll go and then change something and then it affects my present now.
And you're like, what happened?
I really believe that everything happened for a reason. So those same mistakes that young Douglas would have made, he still got to make them. So I would have just been like, continue to be yourself always. And if you don't understand, you'll understand in these so-and-so years. So yeah.
Good. Good. Now your turn.
You already hit into the goal. We already hit into the third. How do you feel about social media?
Social media. That's a topic.
That's a topic within itself.
I mean, we of course have this conversation privately before, but with our other friends. But I would say that in terms of social media, on one hand, it's amazing, it's great, it's revolutionary, it's this world. It's what this world is right now. It's what this world is today. In our day and age, it's social media, it's the internet.
Yeah.
On the other hand, for many reasons that I can't even name to you right now, unless you have 3 days. It's not a good place for many, many reasons. Because for people right now, we're doing a podcast. If it wasn't for social media, not a lot of people would be able to find this podcast and like know about your music and know about, your brand name, Freedom Savage, right? Yeah. Especially for small businesses. A lot of them are on TikTok now and like doing little shorts explaining their businesses and whatnot. And that's great. That's amazing. That's how a lot of people get famous nowadays. But on the other hand, there's a lot of toxicity and a lot of people who feel as if their words are just words just because it's on the internet.
Yeah.
And by that I mean all the hate comments that people leave under videos. They don't see the person right in front of them, so it doesn't really register the fact that it's a real person. So they feel as if they could say whatever they want and hide behind the screen. But for the people receiving that hate message, that can lead trigger warning to the S word, suicide,
Yeah.
and self-harm, and all these other horrible things that I don't wish on anyone at all. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a tricky thing. It's something that's needed, but also something that we could really do without, honestly.
It's a double-edged sword, and it's
It really is.
definitely a gift.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse because, okay, if you really want to be honest, I hate that I kind of have to do this.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I love TikTok for what it is. I love that people can promote themselves. I love that social media is used for promotion. But nowadays, it seems like the industry is basing all of it on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to have had done something on social media to be this, to be so and
Yeah.
that. And it's like, but back in the day, I mean, I don't really know because I'm not a person from back in the day that probably did it, but from what I've known, from what I've seen, to me, it was a little bit more authentic.
Way more authentic.
You know what I mean? To
There
come up
wasn't such a
with music, you know, like business, like, you know, to me, it was a little bit more authentic and you worked harder. So nowadays, it kind of feels like it's like a raffle, or it's like one of those I like to describe it as like those, you know, those arcade games where it's like you hit the thing and then it pop out and the thing pop up and it's like
the whack-a-mole.
whack-a-mole. I feel like that's kind of what's been happening now with the industry, all industries, really, if you really want, not even just the music, but all. But a part of me kind of hated that. Like the only way to probably get this song out or to get this message out is to do a TikTok. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
honestly, yeah.
But then it's like, you know, you can't just be known overnight. Trust me, Lord, I wish I can. Wish I can. But you know, like sometimes it's like I can understand why social media is necessarily needed, but I hate that it's needed for certain things. You know what I mean? Like I wish people just knew me. I wish people would just be able to just click on the video and just, you know, but it needs to get promoted. I need to be known. What am I going to do? And I do feel like I have the power to make myself known. Hence, again, I wouldn't be doing none of this if I didn't believe in myself. This is not me saying that it's a bad thing. This is just me saying that it is hard and I don't like it. In a way, you know, I'm not solely doing this podcast or solely doing my TikToks or solely doing my music just because I want like clout. It's because this is a building block to my actual life. This is a building block to my career. This is what 4-year-old Douglas always said he was going to be. So why am I going to let politics and promotion politics stop me from that? You know, I'm going to play the game and do what I got to do until I get there. And hopefully when I'm up there, I could change the standard. So yeah, your turn.
My turn. Okay. Next question for you, Douglas. If you could erase a traumatic experience from your life, would you? You don't have to go into depth, but if you could.
There's been a few. Erase them? No, because I feel like I do need them in order to make myself stronger. Leave them in the dark? Hell yeah. Forget about them? Sure. But erase them? I don't think so. I think that, again, I live off of that concept that everything happens for a reason. You know, I probably needed to see this, so in the future, I know not to do this, or I probably need to have gone through that, so I know for the future not to do it like this. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, there's been stuff that happened to me in my life and stuff that I've seen in my life that are really just like, you know, wow. And will I get into it now? Somewhat, but not too deep. Not too deep. You know, I'm that person where it's kind of like I will probably leave it behind, but I won't erase it, you know, and leave it behind for the better, not to leave it behind to try to mask up any feelings that I still may have from those experiences, because I still would feel the exact same, if, even like talking about it, like, you know, I still feel the exact same way I felt back then, even just thinking about some of those experiences, you know, but I feel like it's needed. You know, it's needed to talk about those things. Also a big believer in letting out your emotions. Do not pent up how you feel. And I always said it was an Aquarius thing. You're Aquarius. I know
Yeah, I
you're an
tend to
Aquarius,
pent up my emotions to kind
and
of do
my
that.
mother's Aquarius. And I grew up in that setting where it was like, okay, like I've seen, like, you know, people like, you know, you were my mother, like just suck it in, you know, just put it all in. But sometimes one day you're just gonna explode, you know, and that's happened
And
to
that
me.
explosion is another feeling that's not good at all.
Not good at all. And you know, I've seen my mother go through it many, many, many times. I've seen her mental health decline and go back up and decline and go back up. And I've seen friends' mental health decline and go back up and decline and go back up. And I always told myself, like, I don't know what it is, but if I feel something, I'm gonna say it. I might
Yeah,
not
you're that type.
you know, I'm not going. I don't
Definitely
know
that
if I'm going
type.
to say it to people, but I'll definitely again record voice memo. And I also want to say, fun fact: this is not my first time doing these little video things. Don't think that 2020. So y'all that's been watching me for the last 2 years, do not think that 2020 is my first time doing any of these videos. When I was younger, I used to do my own personal vlog videos, but it was only for me to see. To be honest with you, if people were to see it, I think it will be really cringy, because I started at 8 and I ended those when we met. I ended those in sophomore year of high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But, you know, moral of the story, I feel like it's definitely needed to expose and express feelings from things that have hurt you in the past, because it's needed so you can work on it. You know, you probably won't be able to erase it, but you can forget about it and move on to bigger and better things. And not forget about it entirely, but leave it to the side so you could continue walking up that step in your life. You know what I mean? Because it helped build it. So forgetting about it entirely is not really a thing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we could ask each other like one more question. How do you feel about sexual stigmatization in society? Basically, you know, how do you feel about society standards on, you know, wearing clothes or the type of clothes that people could wear, stuff like that?
That's
a topic within itself too.
um let's see. Well, I know a lot of people have a problem with certain communities, for example, like LGBTQ community and like the trans community, and what they choose to wear. For example, a lot of people with very ignorant mindsets will be like, oh, boys can't wear skirts. You know? Honestly, I told you this before. This is my motto. If you're not hurting others and you're not hurting yourself and you're making yourself happy by doing it, honestly, do whatever you want. Just be happy. This world sucks a lot of the time. And if you find any happiness in life, if you want to wear a skirt, wear a skirt. Like, like it doesn't matter. You know, wear what you want to wear. And I know a lot of people can get upset because I remember this one article. It was like this girl, she was white and she wore a traditional Chinese dress, the prom dress. Have you heard of that, Douglas? No? Are you falling asleep? Or is my thing frozen?
No, I can hear you. Sorry, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I was just asking if you knew the story I was talking about. So yeah,
Oh yes,
basically.
yes, yes. Sorry, I know. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A lot of people have a problem with that. I guess for me, if you educate yourself and are respectful of the culture and you understand that it is that culture, I don't know if I could speak for any other culture, but if I see say a white person or someone who's not, you know, black or of African descent, if I see them with a African printed outfit or dress or suit or whatever, as long as they know what culture that is and they understand
The
where it
history
comes from
behind
and the meaning behind those patterns, and just don't take it and say, it's their own thing.
it. Mhm.
Fine. I don't mind I don't mind sharing the beauty of our culture with other people, as long as they're respectful of it. I don't mind.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Not giving it to them, just sharing with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of, I think we all as human beings have judged each other based on what we wear. We've
Yeah.
been on the train or we walked outside and told ourselves, why are they wearing that? Like,
Bro, New
they need
York.
to change her top. Like,
New
she
York.
needed to change her top. Oh, he needed a different sweater with those boots. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I think we all have silently judged one another about once or twice. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But just like you said, it's their business. Just like what we
Their
wear on our
business.
bodies is our business. There are people who don't even really, and that's what I meant by another thing I meant by sexual stigmatization is just that is it okay to be like naked around others without having it to be sexual? That's also a topic within itself. But generally speaking, I could understand that concept of wearing clothes, but even back in those like ancient days, it wasn't
Mhm.
really too much about clothes. People just tied, hid their private parts. And before that wasn't
Exactly.
forbidden.
And that was just the
You know what I
norm,
mean? I think as like, time evolved, people got used to killing animals and then wearing it as
Mhm.
clothing. And then, things became style as,
Mhm.
society evolved.
Clothes were also seen as something of status.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, I love clothes. Do I see myself walking outside naked? No. And I think
No.
that's just common sense how I was raised and just the fact that
Mhm.
I do like wearing clothes and, body conscious. I
Mhm.
don't think I have the guts to do that, even if I was this big, huge bodybuilder or
Mhm.
the ideal size that I would probably want to be. I don't think that I would still probably just like walk around people naked, whether it even be my
Mhm.
house. Like I'm just so used to that feeling of putting on clothes. And to me, it's not a prison. Like I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm in a prison when
Mhm.
I'm wearing the clothes I wear. That's why I always wear the clothes that I want to wear. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And I think that's really just the point. If your heart desires it, do it.
I feel like it should also be a consent thing as well, especially, the topic of whether or not you should wear clothes when people are over.
Mm-hmm.
If it's your close best friend or your cousin that you know since you came out the womb, and everyone's comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with little to no clothes, then sure, do
Yeah.
whatever you want. If you're all comfortable, have fun.
Yeah. My
But
childhood best friend Chloe, she I could walk around her with no shirt on. Pants I keep on.
mhm,
As far as like shirt, like like I've changed tops in front of her, real quick.
mhm,
I've changed shirts, whatever, in front of
yeah,
her. Because we kind of gotten and she'd done the same thing for me. Like she's gotten dressed in front of me, like to where like I've seen her with only like her undergarments and stuff on because we've also known each other since birth, like since we were babies. So that level, that connection, it's so many years strong that it's like we're so comfortable. We've crossed that threshold where it's comfortable with each other to do that. You know what I mean? Is it like that for all my friends? No. Then this has nothing to do with how I value you guys as friends or anything. It just has to do with comfortability. You know. You know.
yeah, exactly. Like I have cousins who, in the Caribbean, they'll just like stick you all in one bathtub and just
Yes.
let you all take a little bath. So things like that, just like growing up, especially in the culture, that's what we do. There's nothing sexualized about it. It's just,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
And it's like our mothers. Like, you also have a West Indian mother. You're Trinidadian, right?
yes.
Trinidadian, and I am Bayesian.
Mhm.
And, both of our mothers wear nightgowns with nothing under it. and they walk around the house as they please, sometimes probably even without their nightgowns.
Exactly.
My mom
Especially in the summer when it's hot. As it should, because it's hot.
as they should, because it's hot. And I've grown up with my mom either just like wearing nightgowns or being completely naked walking around this house as she please, unless company is around, depending on who the company is, because best believe if it's also friends and people that she's known forever, she'll probably get around them too, because they'd already know the tea, and if they don't like it, get out of her house.
Exactly.
That's kind of how she views it.
Believe.
That's kind of how she views it. And it's like, I actually, and in school, I've heard a lot of kids like say, oh, my parent can't do that to me, whatever. My dad can't do that around me. But my dad got to wear clothes. But my mom,
yeah, my dad has to wear clothes too. It's usually my mother.
You say it, I think that's just the norm. Like that's after what like my mom can walk around me naked. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking at my mother no type of way. Like, exactly. So yeah. But yeah, you could ask me your last question.
My last question. Okay. What was your worst experience with an adult who wasn't your parent? As deep as you want it to go. It doesn't have to be
got you.
anything too uncomfortable.
Well, trust me, it ain't done deep.
Of course.
But I don't really have like, I think I do, but it's like two different altercations that I could remember right now. As I told you before, I got bullied for existing in my neighborhood where I live all my life. And there was one time when this guy's son, who happened to be way younger than me, he was like a toddler, but he was like a preteen at the time. And I was a few years older than him, but I was a preteen, and he had to be like around 7, 9. I don't know. But whenever he would see me, he would smack me in the back of the head and call me the F word. And he has done it multiple times prior to this incident that I'm about to describe. One day he did it, and I saw that he had an uncle that had brought him to the park. And at this time, outside was crowded. It was like a lot of people in the neighborhood were just chilling outside in front of the building because it was a summer day. And I remember when I walked up to his uncle, because I just finally had enough. I walked up to his uncle and I told him, like, look, your nephew did so-and-so and so-and-so. His uncle happened to be drunk at the time. And he cursed me out in front of the entire park. And I remember feeling so embarrassed. And I told my mom is crazy. So she can't like, what's the tea? Because y'all yelling at my son and I want to know what's the tea. So that's basically what it was. And he kind of backtracked because once he realized that my mother was crazy, and he realized, he definitely apologized to me afterwards, once my mom had a talk with him.
Well, she knew that,
he was drunk, and it was what it was, but at that time, that really still hurt, because it was like, wow, I'm getting it from adults too, know. And then there was another kid that used to bully me who told me that her mom told her to stay away from me because I was fruity, which is in other terms, So
whole other topic.
And there was also a person in front of my building who used to clean up the building, those custodians, whatever. He doesn't work in my building anymore, not for years now. This happened years ago, but there was a barbecue, and he accused me of I forgot what he accused me of, but something was happening to where he was trying to organize and clean up the front of the building, but he accused me of being one of the people who contributed to probably messing up in front of the building during the said barbecue, even though I did not do that. And I didn't even know who this man was until he confronted me, but he confronted me and also cursed me out. And I had to get my mom again, who ended up
to let them know what's up.
So it's been multiple like scenarios where like I've been like basically cursed out or snobbed by a lot of adults. And it caused me to kind of get really defensive. And it caused me to put my walls up. Like I'm one of those people where I do get a little when it comes to human interaction because
Mhm.
I never know what I'm gonna get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's kind of like I'm always gonna be myself. I'm always gonna defend myself. But in the back of my mind, it's like the thought of just having to, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah. If I could just share one story of mine,
absolutely.
because I feel like this topic can help someone out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fourth grade, right? I had this one teacher. I'm not gonna say a name. Probably should I say a name? Okay, Mr. Dunaway, because he was doing a lot. Mr. Dunaway,
Parry
yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Dunaway. He was notorious for being like that teacher. You know, that teacher that you just can't mess with, you can't joke around with. He's stern. He'll give you detention within a second. That kind of teacher. So I had him. I understood, his ways of teaching and how he liked to run things. So I tried to be respectful of it. You know how I am. I'm very nice when it comes to teachers and that sort.
You are the sweetest person I know.
Thank you. I remember this was lunchtime in the lunchroom. I forgot exactly what was happening, but towards the end, everyone finished, throwing away their food and whatnot, and I was the last person in the entire lunchroom to eat because I guess I was talking to my friends or something. And he came down to, grab his round of, detention students so that others like go outside and play and he could take the students to detention upstairs. He came down and as soon as he came into the room, the whole lunchroom was silent because everyone know when Mr. Dunaway comes, can't talk. Everyone was silent and looking down. And I looked down as well. I looked down at my food. I was like, oh, I should probably throw away my food because, we're about to go outside. So I kind of like pushed my food down to the end of the table. Do you remember in middle school when you had to do that? Like take your tray
Yeah.
and like push it down to the end and so
Yeah.
the people could throw the garbage. The garbage was right there in front of the table. So I was just, pushing down like, hey, can you push it into the garbage real quick? He
Yeah.
sees me with the only person with a tray trying to push it down. He comes over and he yells at me in front of everyone, the silent lunchroom. He just yells at me saying, you're always the last one to eat. You're always the last one to do everything. Now you're in detention. Get on the line. Someone yell at me. And I was so embarrassed. Mind you, I was getting bullied at the time, so this wasn't helping at all.
Yeah.
I just felt so bad. I'm like, why is this happening to me? Like I didn't do anything. I just was the last person to eat. I don't understand. And I couldn't tell my parents what had happened because as Caribbean parents, once you get detention, that's it. Phone get taken away, you get beat, like whatever the punishment was at the time. Like I just didn't want to tell them, but I just felt so bad because I didn't understand why he had to escalate it to that degree.
In front of everyone, and
And
stuff like that. What that does is that gives your bullies more fuel to make fun of you. Because then the next day there's gonna be kids coming up to you like, hey, I heard that Mr. So and so did this to you.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. Anyway, oh my gosh. So yeah,
Class
for the
and everybody
people,
looking at you like, come on.
exactly, it was terrible. But yeah, for the people who have to deal with teachers, no matter what grade, just know that just because he's an adult and that he's a teacher, that doesn't mean he has full control and power over your life. Okay, because
It
there are a lot of
doesn't.
there's a lot of teachers who don't entirely have your best interest at heart. And even if they try to do that, they're not going to do it 100% of the time. So make sure that you are respectful of your teachers, but you also know your own boundaries and you respect your own boundaries. And if you don't let them know that, have a mother like Douglas's.
Period.
They can come up there
How you say
and tell
period?
them what's
A
the
mother like
tea.
mine.
Like,
And I also wanted to add because I cannot believe I forgot this, and this should have been my answer. I also had a teacher that I felt like had a vendetta against me and also didn't like me and used to mistreat me. My second grade teacher was racist, and she was actually the reason for why I first learned about racism because she gave me detention for an entire month just because I was Black. And I found out from her coworkers later on.
oh no.
She gave me detention because I was Black. And on my last day of school, like
How did they tell you that?
my last official day of elementary school, she rolled her eyes at me, and I rolled my eyes back because I was like, "All right, so the last day, I'm not gonna see you again."
Exactly. Like we gonna pay attention. Like
so, and she was the original reason for why I even I literally learned about racism when I was 8 because of her. You know what I mean? And it's like when it was happening, I was like, wait, I know I didn't do nothing too bad. Because don't get me wrong, I wasn't the perfect person in the class, but I also wasn't really bad. I was your average student in 2nd grade. But I was like, I know I didn't do nothing too bad to get detention for a whole day. And it was during, oh, I'm playing with string in my pants, but it was during the last month of school, so like June, and June is like a lit month, like for like
you get to go outside, you get to
go outside, and at that time we were watching movies in the cafeteria. So
those are the best. That old TV that used to come out on the wheels on the cart.
And we used to watch and they had in my school they had the projector, so they would project it onto the smart board.
Yes.
And, I wasn't able to be a part of that when it first started, and they was watching all the movies I liked. I had to go into the room with the kindergartners and sit at a table alone for all of June. The only time she did not let that happen was the last day of school. So like the last day of school was the only time I didn't have detention, but for that entire month of June, she gave me detention. So yeah,
it's always crazy though.
Yeah,
like even if you're a bad kid, you need to show some leniency. It's a kid,
Yeah,
like it's a grown man you're telling,
Even no tyrant. Like I wasn't no Stewie Griffin in 2nd grade. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like this, and especially I agree totally with what you said, but especially for right now, especially like in college, the respect field, and I want to say this right now, for all my college people out there, the respect level got to be the same.
It has to be the same.
Not school. It's not grade school. It's not none of that. The respect level got to be the same. You're not paying to be disrespected.
Exactly. The amount of money you have to spend.
The unnecessary amount of money that we have to spend in tuition, which is another topic within itself.
So many topics.
You do not deserve no type of disrespect, and do not ever. My sister told me this, and my mother told me this before starting college. Do not ever, because you may think that people aren't going to do it because it's college. That's actually the main place where it gets done, where people feel like they could walk over you and step over you and do things to you. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself.
Never happened.
Like you say. And once you do that, you'll be able to navigate your life, because what it is the real world. And how are you going to navigate throughout the real world? You have to have some type of confrontational skill. And it doesn't necessarily mean to beat people up or curse them out. No, there are people who handle themselves in confrontation really, 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 really decently. You, for example, how you say you, for example, you're one of my most sophisticated friends that I know. You handle yourself, what I know, pretty well. Not that really have too much of a problem with you, but it's like, we could be good people, and then people will just look just to feel like people will find problems and people where there really aren't really any problems.
It's to the point where it's like, what did I do? Like,
you know what I mean? Like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? All right. Well, love this.
Absolutely love this.
I already know this is going to be a highlight. But we are about to get into some fun and end this podcast with some fun. Harriet.
Yes, Beth.
Harriet.
Who else is here? Oh my god.
Yes.
My camera's coming on in a second, don't worry.
Don't worry about it. All right, you guys. So this is the final segment of my podcast, and it's called Freedom Fun. I am joined by not only my girl Nakaya, but my other best friends, Lisa and Lizbeth. Or you could call her Yushlav. It don't even matter. All right, so Lizbeth and Lisa, you guys could just introduce yourself and say y'all pronouns for the viewers.
Who should go first? I guess I'll go. I'm Yushlav on social media, but everyone knows my real name. It's just Lizbeth, and she. A pronoun. She, her.
As Douglas said, my name is Lisa, and my pronouns are also she, her.
Alrighty. And as y'all already know, Nakaya already introduced herself in the last segment. Harriet. All right. We are
I
ready.
keep it unmuted so it's like a conversation. You find to keep me unmuted?
Yes. Again, I just want to also say before we even start the games, for the viewers out there, I already told y'all, live in a very crowded environment. So just forgive me if y'all hear any noise. Please just try to focus y'all attention
They
on
gotta know the real life.
happening.
This is how it
Yeah.
is.
You know, this is just how it is. I already told them in the beginning. I said, listen, y'all gonna hear rooms and cars and y'all gonna hear all
You're
of
gonna hear
that.
my
Like,
parents annoying me and telling me to
you're
go
gonna
eat.
hear
That's what
all of
you're
that.
gonna hear.
Sorry, this is authentic stuff. So sorry. How you say sorry, not sorry, but sorry, but not sorry. Okay. If y'all ready, I'm going to start. And we are going to start with never have I ever. I don't need to explain this game for the viewers. If y'all don't know what never have I ever is, Google it. And yeah, so I think we should start, and y'all could create y'all own questions, or y'all could look on y'all phone. This won't be, too long because we'll have another thing to play. But for the time being, we're gonna play this, see how it goes. I'm sorry. I feel the biggest need to laugh right now, only because
it's totally fine. Like I think this is like your first podcast that you're
not first
posting,
podcast.
so
I'm very
it's
nervous
like
for some reason, even though nobody's watching it right now. We're shooting. I'm
yeah,
really
but just it's totally normal, and I feel like that's why I was like, let me unmute myself. I'm not even gonna mute myself because I really don't care if it goes in the background. And if I cough, whatever, that's what you're gonna normally hear. Like it's a conversation. It's not so it's totally fine if you just normally laugh. We're gonna laugh with you because we understand the space we're in.
Elizabeth, we're gonna make that the highlight.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna make that the highlight. Always be yourself, period. And if people want to know the real tea about you, then they got to sign up for all.
Everything.
Bad, ugly, beautiful, don't matter.
Listen, this is at my house. It's not. I don't have a space to do it in. So just know.
It's a blessing that we got it to this point right now. So
yeah.
All right. Y'all ready? Hold up 10 fingers. I'm about to say 11. Hold up 10 fingers.
You're gonna see one broken nail.
All right.
Yeah, my hands are big as fuck.
Nakaya, I'm sorry. I remember your name.
Hold on,
I
wait.
know we're struggling.
Are y'all ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Never have I ever slept on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my-
Is there a limit of just don't say a lot? We're just gonna rapid fire.
Obviously don't speak for years, but if you have a little thought that you want to say, go ahead.
I slept on the floor yesterday.
I was. Well, I didn't hear the cry. Okay.
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
Oh, my turn. Okay.
Oh, in a circle.
Okay. Never have I ever went skinny dipping in a pool. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think any of us have.
I think I've had.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to.
Are we going to Lisa and me? Because that's what it looks like on my screen.
I guess
Is
you could
that
delete.
fine? Or you want me to go next, Lisa?
I could go.
Okay, go.
Never have I ever stolen anything.
You already know when we're little, we steal stuff.
As a kid, I grabbed
cool
something
means.
and just walked out.
Yeah, the candy, maybe something,
And my parents just didn't look at me for 2 seconds,
Okay. So that was the fakest laugh. Okay. I can't. I just finished my make. I literally did my make. Anyway, that's not what the question is. I guess have you ever these are like normal questions. I guess they'll get harder like as they go. So I'll say like, of course, everyone has cheated on a test, so I'll put that down.
I love how she just said everybody. Everybody did it.
Yeah.
Everybody did it. All y'all did it. All y'all cheated.
It's like small questions, but let's see how this goes when it gets more complicated.
Yeah.
Douglas, we all went.
Douglas, it's your turn now.
Oh, Lisa went already?
Yeah, we all went. We went
That's
like
probably when I did that little quick closing of the camera.
it went from Nakaya, Lisa, then me. That's the
Gotcha.
order we went.
Never have I ever farted in class.
Wow. I was a big farter when I was in elementary school. My teacher laughed once in fourth grade, but we already talked about that.
We already talked about farting. With
Yeah. Still am. Anyways.
I can get away with it and it's silent, then listen.
How you say that's what we pray for, child.
Exactly.
All right, Nakaya.
My turn. Okay. Never have I ever made someone feel nervous.
Feel nervous? Feel nervous?
Feel bad on purpose.
Feel bad on purpose. Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Damn, that's something sick. I'm kidding.
Wait, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought we were going in order, but this is when we answer it. We all put it. Yeah, I've made someone feel bad on purpose.
Never have I ever lied to a teacher.
I love how mine just became the fist.
Yeah.
Recently, but we're not gonna talk about it because they don't gotta find out.
Listen, I might have said that I've overslept.
There's also getting sick. I mean, when I am sick, like I'll say it, but if I need an extra day and could technically go to school, but it's like I'm drowsy or exhausted after I got sick and I'm better, like I'll take the day off.
Just be like, I'm sorry, I died.
Yeah, because I don't know how these. Yeah, but we're not even gonna get to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never have I ever taken.
Lisbeth didn't see hers.
Oh snap!
Oh, I forgot it's my turn. I know. Can we do it really bad? Okay. Never ever thought about my parents. I had no. In passing, it could be a dream in passing. Thought my parents in a sexual way.
I was about to say I was about to go into it, but then I was like,
You don't have to go into it.
I was like,
we could explain it, but this is not. Yeah. This is not. We actually. This is not. I'm going into. So to explain, if I could explain, because people online is gonna be like, "What the fuck are y'all thinking?"
Listen.
Have you with your teachers? You're a minor with your teachers. That's already a case. And then also with that, but I never would go overboard. I would never go to and make the action. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have talked about this because it's, since we're more open now, people have talked about it. But I haven't like go forward and made it like no, that's not gonna be an official thing. You could have a thought, but it's up to you if you're gonna take action. And I have not taken action. There's not and never am I gonna take action.
Yeah, I was about to go right into it. Let's just say not both of my.
That's basically it. Don't take action. Like you can't control your thoughts, but you can control your actions.
We can't control our minds. I love how you're trying.
I would do a case with a teacher, but anyway.
I just want to say for the viewers, y'all already know Lisbeth from my Roblox video. Y'all know exactly what she's capable of. She's trying to hold herself now. She's not this serious. Don't ever take that seriously.
No, I do not pay attention. I do not come up with questions like this. I'm in another world.
This straightforward.
I am levitating. Do a question. What do you want like question?
Because once I hit that 20 mark.
When I hit that 20 mark, it's over.
I'm using that part.
That was a year ago.
And I'm gonna cut out that part from the video and use it as a sound bite.
Okay.
All right, is it my turn again?
Mm-hmm.
Never have I ever did something bad that I never told my friends about.
Friends or family?
Anybody.
I guess, yeah, I wouldn't know.
This is an episode of Secrets Exposed, but we hiding them.
Yeah, you'll find out. The
how you
viewers
say?
won't, but
We'll find out in time when you die and we find your diaries.
mhm.
Uh,
If I write it
if you write
down.
them down.
Yeah.
Liz, before we even continue, what is I really am admiring? I'm looking so hard at that makeup right now. What inspired that look?
So good. I love
I
your
don't know.
makeup.
It's my beauty marks. I did heart.
Harriet,
Oh,
for
The
y'all who
NYX.
don't
It's
know,
like a NYX waterproof.
for y'all who don't know, Ushlove is a philanthropist.
Okay, yeah. I do makeup. I only uploaded literally my only video that's the longest that's not reels is a makeup video a while ago, and I'm better at it now. So it's just
However, I edit this video, I'm going to post clips of this little
I need
video.
okay, Nakaya.
me? I've been trying to think of a question. I'm not good at this. For everyone who's watching, I'm not good at this.
Did I put down a finger? Okay.
Never have I ever
It's me with the fucking yeah. Never have I ever who
been close to death.
got close to death.
Let me tell you.
Not as close as y'all.
She said, "Let me tell you."
It's story time. I told Douglas and I told Elizabeth this story. 5th grade, I went to this overnight trip. We went in this pool, and the pool was lined with
Trigger warning.
algae. It was lined with algae. I almost died. I slipped, and nobody did anything. And
And then it's algae.
It's how I was trying to hold my lap.
I feel like how was touching algae? Is it traumatic?
Algae is slippery.
Oh no.
Do you know how in normal like concrete pools you could jump and you could land?
Yeah.
In that pool you jumped and you slipped. You like slipped a little bit. But I slipped, I went underwater and I thought I was gonna die.
Oh no. Yeah, because you
And these bitches thought, oh, I thought you were playing. No, I'm not playing.
we're not playing if we go in the water and then you know someone can't swim. You first gotta find out if they can't swim or not.
I feel like that in water. First of all, why?
You think of that SpongeBob episode? Can't swim. I need ice cream.
Just
You know
COVID.
exactly what I'm talking about, right? She knows. She say she.
I mean, why was it covered in algae? That's the like.
I don't know.
I don't know. Girl, she took like 2 showers after that.
Is it my
I was gonna say mine is just COVID. I mean, also like New York City, the cars, but yeah.
How you just say crossing the street every day in New York? That's an experience.
Yeah.
And it's not even the cars; it's the bikers.
The COVID.
I have one. Never have I ever slid into somebody's DMs.
Like ask them like they're hot. Just slid.
Or period. Just like in that way. Just period.
It's like,
and we don't know them.
I'm still very
and
like
you don't know them.
I think
I have. I ain't gonna lie. How you say I ain't gonna lie? I did it musically DMs and Instagram DMs. Exactly.
I probably did, but that's probably a long time ago. I don't remember.
And I'm out.
damn!
I'll do it with people I know or like I need someone's help to do it, but by myself, I don't think. So I'll keep mine up. Or I have slid into someone's DMs. But I needed help. I'm gonna keep mine up. I need help. Like, I can never do it on my own.
This bed's here just like,
oh, my turn. Yeah. I know. It's the last one. Well, I don't know if it's the last one. I don't want it that deep. What can you guys give me one? I actually don't know. I can't.
Sure, I can get one for you.
Yes, please. Douglas, get back in this.
Y'all, how you say I'm out anyway. Never have I ever. Never have I ever did something bad to my friends.
I don't know what you mean by bad.
Maybe bad without realizing.
Bad. Something that hurt your friend. Like, have you ever done something mean or like bad to a friend?
But hurting them doesn't mean that it's bad.
Well, it can be bad for them.
Don't overthink
It could
it.
be good in the long term.
That's
That's what I like. I'm out. I don't even that bad.
You get to join Douglas in helping us figure out.
Sorry,
If I
and
have,
it's your turn anyway. So
Give
it's
me one.
my turn. Oh,
Give
it's
me
my
one.
turn.
to ask a question for them.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Oh, has there been a time where you feel like you had to get yourself ready, every day, and you feel like you always have to like dress like? No, that's too long. Hmm. I think it's a good one, but I don't know how to bring it up. Oh, no, I'm. It's really hard because I'm thinking of. Never have I ever gave in to the scammers.
Gave into this game.
It could be like it could be
Remember
digital where they like call, or it could be like walking and they'll have like the booth, or
that one?
Elmo and 42nd Street.
You'll never last 45 seconds playing this game.
Okay, or it could, yeah, that's also one.
That when someone sends you like
Oh
like
yeah, the chain stuff, and it has the.
on your bio in Instagram. It's like my name on my bio is Kaya. So someone will text me and be like, Kaya, I made this just for you. It took me like 2 hours or something. And it's like a link. And that's like somehow, yeah, I fell for that once and like my entire account was hacked. And I said that that's like
Did you get it? Did you get it back?
yeah, it wasn't like completely hacked. It wasn't like a thing where I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't control what I was doing a lot of the time. Like I wasn't able to control like
So you just had to change the password, and they didn't know after that.
yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
God, that literally reminded me of when I released my freestyle single last year. For those who don't know, go check out my music. It's Alone. I released my single Alone last year and I put it on SoundCloud. And I remember it only been out for like 1 minute. Somebody texted me and I knew it was a scam. At first I thought it was a genuine comment. But somebody wrote, "Oh my God, I love this song. I've been streaming it for days." It only been out for 1 minute because I had just put it on.
At least they added a
SoundCloud.
comment. Like that was
It
getting
was a scammer. It was one of those like, because SoundCloud has that, like those scammers. And I was so upset because my hopes, like I gave up my hopes. I was like, there's somebody.
But if they comment, that means it's gonna get to other people. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It does mean that. Yeah.
Subtle about it. Like wait a week. Like
Exactly. Like sometimes I feel like they know they're about to like lie on themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes like it's dumb. Like even those think people on Instagram pretending to be like celebrities and stuff. Like, come on, especially dead ones. Yo.
What do you mean, like accounts that haven't
There's
grown?
been people like pretending to be Michael Jackson talk about I'm not actually dead. I just need money to get back on.
Okay.
that's super cool.
Oh, we have wait, is Elisa next? But okay. If it's one of them, then it will be over, like the last one, right?
The last one standing. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Douglas, did I do a question? Did you do
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it. Got y'all. So Lisa and Nakaya, I'll ask y'all two. One, never have I ever. Come on, how you say? Let me just look it up. Never have I ever.
I was gonna mention when you like plugged in your own song. I was like, okay.
Never have I ever. Promo, hun, promo. Never have I ever.
I mean, I would do the same.
Never seen an animal get ran over by a car.
No, I haven't.
No.
Probably like the aftermath.
Yeah. But never like physically. Oh, that'd be traumatizing.
Never have I ever laughed so hard. Water or whatever liquid I was drinking went up my nose.
It did.
Goofy.
Never to you, Lisa?
Wow.
Oh my God. Okay. Never have I ever bought unnecessary items just for the discount. I love how you put your finger down right up.
I would put mine too, but I'm out. Fashion over Amazon, everything. Shein. I haven't even shopped there yet, but
my cart will be like $45, but the shipping, like for free shipping, you have to spend $75.
Oh no, my car would be 150, and just um
knowing that I have to pay $5 for shipping when I can get more stuff and pay,
Hey, look,
yeah.
all right.
I hate it. I hate
Never
the
have never have I ever had sex.
I mean, I'm out.
None of my fingers will go down for that. Wait. Can I see y'all fingers? Put y'all fingers up.
I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah.
Okay, it's out.
Lisa, you the last one standing? You never done anything?
I mean,
no, she did the sex part. We both of them, right? You guys put a finger down
I love the
for the
standing.
sex.
oh no, not that one. My finger is down for
The
the
last one, the discount.
Oh,
Yeah.
discount. Okay.
Okay. We just finished playing Never Have I Ever, and we are about to get into what was that next game? Would You Rather? All right, you guys, we are gonna get started with Would You Rather. All right, so I also
No, my munchies.
have a little link. Liz, let's show what you in. Let's show you what you in to the people.
Girl, it's mixed up. I don't know what you.
oh my gosh, food.
It's the regular ass Hispanic food. I don't know. It's the salad that decided to be something in the dressing. It's the I don't know the fucking what is this? I'm not gonna say what type of meat that is because I always get confused. And the white rice with the belly.
Yeah.
All right. Would you guys rather give up sex or your favorite food?
When you say sex, do you mean like with another person or
Give up sex.
And masturbating.
What?
Yes. I love how everybody was like, what?
But by myself, it's the best.
Whether it's by yourself with somebody.
Give up sex is
I would give up my favorite food.
Yeah.
We got some sexual deviance in this. Your favorite food too?
I can find another. I can give up another my favorite food for another favorite food. I can have like.
Oh my god!
Substitute it.
What about you, Elizabeth?
I was gonna give up sex for y'all assholes. Just leave me.
I think we know the answer for everybody in this group. Favorite food gotta go.
Okay, next question.
Oh my god. Okay. Have more time or more money? Wow.
More money. More money.
More money.
I'm about to say I'd rather spend my time with money. More money.
I guess more
Time
money.
is good, but if you're giving me more
money, you could do a lot more in the time that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Go to dinner alone or go to a movie alone?
Go to a
dinner.
I feel like it's embarrassing to go to dinner alone. I feel like it's embarrassing to go.
I'll be embarrassed.
alone. It's like who broke up with them? Like
I will sit next to a beautiful couple eating dinner for two. like that's me though, because
I think go to dinner. Yeah, go to dinner alone because I like food. And I don't like. I'm not a movie person. Like I'm not a person to go to movie theater.
I love the movie theaters. It's just that like there's no food at the movie theaters. There's food at dinner. So
like, but not nothing like to we always eat outside before we go to the theater.
All right. Explore space or explore the ocean?
Explore space, definitely. You know how scared the ocean is? Oh
yeah. So space is bad. It's literally the best.
Well, space is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I know it's space.
I have a terrible fear of the ocean.
All right. Would you guys rather have spaghetti here or sweat mayonnaise?
What?
What? Spaghetti? Oh, spaghetti hair or sweat mayonnaise?
Spaghetti here. I
Spaghetti
hate sweating.
with mayonnaise.
The ass here.
Mayonnaise gonna feel thick.
Yeah, that's gonna be thick and nasty.
I mean,
And when
we do sweat urine, so it's not that bad.
the mayonnaise gets hot,
Mm.
Spaghetti hair.
I mean, I
Oh.
could stop. It's like mini locks.
How you say
Yeah.
mini locks? How you
Mini
say
locks.
mini locks? How you say we for the people?
But I could pull someone's hair. Wait, is it like straight, not cooked spaghetti, or like cooked spaghetti?
I mean, I don't necessarily know because it's hair.
But then spaghetti.
They just said
wow.
spaghetti hair, so I'm assuming they just mean hair like that texture.
But you said mayonnaise.
Yeah, but we never talked about the degree of mayonnaise. We just said mayonnaise.
I just said mayonnaise is gonna be thick.
Okay.
I think I'd
I
rather
put mayonnaise.
So you'd rather sweat mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's my hair gonna have
fun with that.
yeah. It's only a little bit. It's not like I'm gonna have covered in mayonnaise. You're not covering the fucking. Let me see.
Depending on how much.
yeah, with my mini dreads. Thank you. My mini locks.
How you say? I'll really rock with my little mini locks.
I have, I
My
have
hair already falls out. I can't do spaghetti.
Sure, ask yours.
Would you rather have another 10 years? No, I can't answer that question. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life?
Heating and air conditioning.
I love my AC.
Look at
I would be like I'm talking about AC
That's
or
torture.
heating.
Really torture. Probably heating and air conditioning, believe it or not.
Because for the longest time we've been without, the internet, and a lot of the time like staying away from the internet and like getting off your phone is like great for your mental health.
Yeah.
In the summer is not great for your mental health.
It's like I would be a room temperature person, or I'll be one of those people that kind of just go with the vibe of outside, depending on where I'm at and what season it is. So it's like, because a Barbados 100 degrees or West Indian 100 degrees is different from a New York 100 degrees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
if it was 100 degrees in New York, you would not catch me outside. You would not. No.
I live in front of my AC when I go to Trinidad, and not Trinidad, Jamaica. I usually go there. I live.
No, I can't.
You could tell the American one.
Would you be cheated on, or would you cheat on your partner? Would you rather be cheated on or cheat on your partner?
I hate the idea of cheating, so I'd rather be cheated on and completely drop the person instead of
cheated on.
It's more work when you cheat someone out, like when you cheat someone, and then than being cheated on, because you just find out.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
Be dominant or dominated? Dang. Everybody about to know our kinky pleasures.
You gotta answer this question. You have to answer this question.
I'm a switch.
You can pass if you want.
Both, but there's no choice.
I think this should show y'all the answer.
The reason I have trust issues is because I want to dominate someone, so I'll have that's why my answer is going to, but I feel like I want someone else to do all the work.
Period.
But I don't know. Be dominated. Like I want someone else to dominate me.
This.
Why are your hands tied up?
When did
it to show how he wants to be tied up?
When did this happen?
All right. Be a good singer or good at an instrument? Well, I'm already a good singer, so.
Good at an instrument.
I want to know what to sing. If I could Beyonce sing, I will Beyonce sing rather than any instrument.
Yes. What you mean? Sia, Beyonce sing, of course.
Because I recently watched that Beyonce performance. Is it Sexy Love?
Where was it? Like what?
He was wearing a 2-piece silver outfit.
Okay.
And she was doing a whole bunch of runs where she was sliding out on the floor. She's like, "You're sexy, love and love." I don't know this song.
Oh yes.
That's all.
Taxi, that you're talking about her BET 2006 performance of Deja Vu. You know, that's my favorite.
Deja vu.
And I'm a beehive.
How you knew.
Of course, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
know 'cause I'm a beehive. But
Mhm.
yeah, and we put that in the clip. We put that in the clip for y'all too, just in case for the people who don't know, y'all gonna watch that performance. That's gonna be in the link in the bio. But yes,
But yeah,
talking about her Deja Vu performance on BET, where she practically threw herself on the floor and wasn't even a person anymore. We love that. Like, it's just
section that was like, I don't know if it was like her father or someone, but someone made her like sing while she like run or like do something. I don't know if that's
yeah,
Is it
it was. Yeah, Beyonce was taught how to do. How you say Beyonce is just a machine. Like she's just a working machine. She is sometimes it's hard for me to even see her as human because it's like, yo, you're a machine. You do everything.
like, yeah, it worked.
We leaving that in the bio for y'all. So y'all gonna see that performance, okay?
No.
Y'all gonna see that. Thank you for bringing that up. How you say thank you for bringing that up? Okay. I guess we can ask each other a few more questions. Would you guys make a phone call or send a text?
Send a text.
Send a text. Honestly, I'm sorry. I can't.
Oh, make a phone call, girl. Send a text.
Send a text. I'm not really.
Yeah, text. I think we were all in that age. Like we were all born in that age that we're just like texting is like so much easier, and we do texting more than phone call.
And my mom gets upset with me because I usually send like happy birthday text messages instead of calling people. And back in her day, it was all like, if you want to tell someone something, you have to call them.
It's just annoying. It's like send a text and leave it alone. Like don't have it be like, hi, how are you? Da da da. Isn't that how it's? No, I'm not gonna conversate with you.
That's all you're like.
Introvert. I want to be alone, and I don't want to waste your time.
Exactly. I don't
lose y'all hearing or lose y'all vision.
I can't. I'm an art major. I can't lose my vision.
Yeah.
I like music, but
I can lose my hearing. I'd lose my hearing, not my vision. I mean, I'll lose my vision, not my hearing. I could think of a song and just remember it and sing it. Like I don't have. It'll be harder, but I've done it before, so it's like
There's just something in art too, yeah. Like
I feel like as
lose your vision.
Yeah, y'all need y'all vision.
But you could. There's still painters that are just blind.
There's musicians that are was it Beethoven or Mozart? Don't even ask me the question, but I know one of them like they wrote, or I don't know if it was some classical composer that I'm thinking of right now. They wrote their last concerto or piece blind, like before they died. So it's crazy, but it doesn't necessarily stop you. What that does is enhance other senses you have. So, and I feel like if I lose my vision, I'll have a sixth sense. Like I'll still be able to find out where everything is. If that makes sense. All right. Read a book or watch the movie.
I love
reading.
reading.
Are you really asking me this question?
I know. These are webtoons maniacs over here. So if y'all
But here's the thing. It's not a book. It's a comic strip. It is a book, I guess. At the end, it will be.
Yeah.
It's basically a book that you have to scroll through.
Yeah.
Like under. Basically.
Right.
What about you?
Electric book or whatever.
What about you, Lisa?
I said read the book.
Yeah. Plus, a lot of times the books are better than the movies.
Yeah.
You go on your own pace.
Because I'm lazy, the movie. Because sometimes I get real interested in reading. Like what I'm reading got to be so good, and that's why I'm so picky with my comics and books. Would you rather be busy or be bored?
I love busy.
I'm overwhelmed either way, so it's kind of like because when I'm bored, I'm gonna blame myself for not being busy, and if I'm busy, I'm gonna blame myself for not taking a break. So it's like, would be overwhelmed either way. So, but I like that feeling of finishing all my work and taking a deep breath. Then I'll know I got something done. I was productive. You know what I mean?
Eating something, yeah.
So probably be busy. just for the ending.
Mhm.
What about y'all?
Yeah, being busy. I can't. I came to a point now where I just can't not do something.
Yeah.
Like even when I'm on vacation, I still have some some work I want to,
Yeah.
I feel like that's because the world made it like that way, but we're not even getting into that.
All right. Would you guys, okay, I have two more questions for you guys left. Would you guys mentally or physically never age?
Physically.
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 Impossible, but
If I'm able to like never age physically and just gain a whole bunch of knowledge, that will turn me crazy at some point down the line.
Well, and listen, in the words of Melanie Martinez, I can't even sing it because that's copyright, but she'll sue me.
Yeah.
Age is nothing if you're not evolved. So I'd rather be evolved. Period. All right, y'all. This is my last question for y'all. And I think this is something that we all could attest to because we all go to school. Would y'all always be 10 minutes early or always be 10 minutes late?
10 minutes early. I hate being late.
I'm always late, so 10 minutes late.
You just accept fate.
I'm kind of, is it okay to say both? Like,
No.
We didn't choose that. I was a switch, and
all right, I would
wanted to say
choose.
both on
Okay,
that.
I'll choose.
Listen.
Because I'm always used to coming, I also don't really like coming places late. So I would say 10 minutes early. But I'm one of those people, and I've started doing this now where, like I told Nakaya this in our earlier segment, I've been kind of floating and kind of just going with what my gut wants lately when it comes to music and just everything in my life. So lately when I've been going to school, it's kind of like, it's either I go there when I go there, I'm not going there, period. Like that's kind of what it is now for me. So whether that's late, whether that's really early, whether that's on time, who cares? You know, it's just whatever at this point. So, yeah, and we're gonna make that a highlight. We're gonna do that. Anywho, that's really the end of it. How did you guys like that? How did you guys like those game segments?
I enjoyed it. I always love our little
Fine. That was fun.
talks. It's
Okay.
great. Mm-hmm.
Fun.
That was so sorry. For some reason my energy drained, but you know that's just how I am. Yeah, it was fun. Like we normally talk like this all the time, so it was like easy for me to just go through this because we play these games all the time and ask these questions.
Yeah, just for the viewers, this is
mm-hmm.
outside of the podcast. Like this is not like no, we rehearse scripted. Like this is
It
regular.
might sound like it, but it's because we kind of knew
Be
a lot
nervous.
of things. Well, that, but not really. It's because we already talked about it. Like I talked to them about what was it? I mean, what was it that I already said? It's just a lot of the questions that we
A lot
already
of our questions, like
passed.
we already knew the stories behind our answers. We just said our answers because we was like, let's not even get too into it right now. But I do want to say, before that thought of being drained, that's exactly how I felt before this podcast. So you're not alone.
Did you feel more energetic like at the end or
because of you guys? Y'all being ready
You're
made
welcome.
me ready, and I didn't want to let y'all down. Because a big part of me was actually just going to skip it. A big part of me was going to skip it and say no. But when Nakaya got back to me and was like, I'm home. And then when y'all was like, I'm ready, I'm joining Zoom. You guys were kind of the ones that made me, you know,
Like,
kind of like excited to do this podcast and stuff again. So I am, you know, I'm just proud of you guys. Again, can we just give a round of applause for y'all?
Yeah, I can't, but
For why I even
Uh,
put this together, because I was definitely about to just give up on this entirely. But you guys were the reasons. You guys were the reasons. And I told Nakaya also earlier in our segment that just so y'all know, again, crowded home. So if y'all heard the sound, not editing that out, y'all get the real tea.
if you hear squeak in my bed, if you hear me munching, you're gonna get all of it.
You're gonna get all of it. Nakaya, I just want to say also, I know me and you spoke about it earlier in our earlier segment. You know, sometimes I kind of sit back and I tell myself, damn, I kind of hate that I gotta do this just to like be known.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very annoying. But I was looking. Oh, can I say it? The Trey Melvin podcast today when I was exercising, and I just saw like they were just talking. It was not the third one. I know they talked about it before that we had to do this and basically like advertising stuff, and I was just like, it's so annoying. Like it may seem easy because it's easy to watch it, but then when you actually do it, it's like it's
it's
a task. It's almost like going to school. Like it's like going to college. It's like going to work. Like you gotta dress up, get ready, brush your teeth. You gotta like get your. You can't be like in bed and do it. You could and wake up, but that's not how we all work. But we all work differently, and it's like you gotta set up the shit. You gotta, well, you can bleep that out, but you gotta set up.
not believing
It's
that
so
everybody
annoying.
authentic stuff.
It's so annoying. And when I did my vlog, like I'm gonna edit it today, but a part of me is like, I don't even want to edit or do the thumbnail. And then, it may sound easy because a lot of people said it, but it's just, it's so annoying. The same thing with TikTok videos and like Instagram reels. Like it takes time. Like all that makeup is like 3-4 hours, or like just like a couple minutes, even a couple minutes, I'll feel like really tired. Um, I don't want to do it, but then I gotta finish it. Sometimes I gotta do the videos before, days before, so I had got the beginning part and do the transition at the end if I'm doing that. So it's
Mhm.
like it's not like right there, it's done.
Mhm. It's exactly what we talked about earlier. You know, I live in a crowded home, so it's hard for me to do a lot. You know, just to even do this podcast, I had to like tell my family about
Yeah,
what
also at home, people have their own studio, they have their own space. And when you have your own space like that, your mind changes to awake because you're walking to the space, you're probably getting something to eat, you're getting ready, you're already awake by doing all of these things. So you're already in the mood to do it because now you're there and you're in a different space. And the same thing when you do homework, because I struggle with finishing homework. It's I try to do my homework here, think I'm gonna finish it when I'm just gonna play Roblox and do something else and watch TikToks or and read webtoons. It's like I gotta get up and go somewhere. I have someone with me while I do the homework.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like that. Like when you're at home and trying to do the video, it's like so it's part of you is like, well, I could just watch videos or this for a couple minutes, and then those couple minutes will drag out, and you can see that you could use those minutes to work on it, and it's like
Yep.
a whole thing.
Mm. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's another thing that I want to add. Also, I know we kind of tapping back into the serious topics, but I just wanted to quickly say for the
Yeah, I
people
wasn't there
out
for it.
there,
I'm sorry.
I don't know
Mhm.
about y'all, but I am spoiled. I'm a spoiled brat. And what usually
Discipline.
makes me feel good about finishing work is rewarding myself for something at the end. Like I'll tell myself, if I finish this amount of assignments, I get to watch this. If I finish this amount of assignments, I could buy myself some ice cream. Thank you guys so much for joining me in my first podcast. And you guys, y'all already know this is a deeper side to me than y'all usually see in my YouTube videos. I mean, my YouTube videos are not fake, don't get me wrong, but I show y'all more of my positive side and just not all of the real. So best believe in this podcast, you're going to get all of the real of me. And exactly what Elizabeth said earlier, this podcast is also heavily inspired by, I always told y'all, I think I told y'all in my earlier YouTube videos when I started YouTube 2 years ago, Trey Melvin is my biggest YouTube inspiration, and I'm not afraid to say that. And I am a big fan of him and Zach podcast. And I'm gonna also leave even though he does not need it, he's already higher than me on YouTube. But way higher. But I'll leave a link to his channel also, and that way y'all could see their podcast and their videos, so go check out the Tired Ass podcast on Zach's channel as well, because this is watching their podcast also is what gave me the ability to do this. So again, stay tuned for more content from me, and these wonderful women could tell you guys how to stay in contact with them.
I will go first. Okay, my art account it's Nolani. Nolani is my middle name, but it's spelled as ITXNALANI. And my personal Instagram it's Nakaya. Nakaya is my first name, but it's spelled as ITXNAKAUA.
Yeah, we love that. And she does art. You know, she posts art and stuff. We love it.
Why post art?
Um,
Okay.
listen,
I
just like we talked about, it's
yeah.
gonna take time. And we know that, you know, it's literally your passion because you went to high school, college for it. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of artists that are popular are literally middle age or late 20s or like older than us, a lot more older. So, you
Mhm.
know, it's gonna take time. It's something I also gotta tell myself. But also, you know, I'm Yush Love on Instagram, Twitter. Um, Listen, I deal with the same thing. Right now it's makeup you're gonna first see, but before that it's art. So you probably are gonna be confused, but yes,
Mhm.
just take it. I don't know what you want
On
from
with
me.
your heart.
It's literally
This
what you
program. Period.
just take it. um, so you're gonna see a lot of reels there, and you'll probably see my old like what they call the TV, the series section. I don't know, but a lot of times it's gonna be posted at the beginning. I'm not active on Twitter, but Twitter is also Yush Love. I'm just there, you know, for my celebrities whenever I feel like giving them attention. And TikTok is deleted right now, but I'm pretty sure that's like Yush Doggo or Yush Love as well. I don't do Amino. I've been dead over there. It's also Yush Love. YouTube is Yush Love. Yeah, YouTube is Yush Love.
Mhm.
I have one video and a couple of reels, but you know, I'm trying to get this vlog and let's see what happens.
Enjoy the program with her. Stay tuned for a lot more of her content. She got amazing
Thank
content.
you.
Like she said, it's a process.
You do too. You're more consistent
He
than
is
me.
You think so?
He's a great inspiration for me. I love your artwork, Elizabeth.
Oh
Thank
my God.
you.
She's my inspiration. I'm surprised she said that I'm more consistent. I feel like she is. Oh
He
my
really is.
God. Oh my-
Listen,
Probably Insta, but YouTube no.
What about you, Lisa? How do you want these people to remember you?
Lisa,
Give them
welcome.
any info? Any info? How you want them to catch you? Where they could catch you?
You know, so y'all could follow my Instagram at Lisa's the name _03. I mean, y'all don't gotta follow if y'all don't want to. You know, I'm not gonna force you,
We
but
love
you
us.
have to follow it because I will know if you don't.
Ooh. I was about to say we love a consensual queen. And then she said,
Ooh, we love it to get them a little bit mad. You know, a little bit submissive.
But on a serious note, y'all don't gotta follow it if you don't want to.
uh-huh.
But yeah, that's it.
Hey,
That's
let's
it.
see out.
I think you should do a baking promo.
Huh?
A
I think you should do
baking
You need
promo.
to do some baking pro. That's what I was about to say. Because viewers who don't know, I don't know why she didn't say it before, but she is the most legendary chef cook in the world in the making. Right
a book,
here. Okay? Legendary.
Stupid.
She's about to be next
But
everything.
yes, you're gonna see a future post of her
You want to see her
cooking
on the
channels.
cooking boxes. And
I
it
love it.
will okay?
Business card coming soon.
Restaurant, you looking at the next leader of a big restaurant, chain, enterprise, everything. What y'all need? This one, cook like a birth, right?
Cook by me.
Buy for yourself.
I don't have a. I should have one.
Business.
I don't have like a baking page, a culinary page yet.
Well, if you do, start on your own terms and
Mhm.
start on your own process. You don't have to do it right away.
Yes.
But we'll know if you do.
Let us know.
I named this episode testing because it was kind of like I felt like that's really what it was. Like life test us. This entire episode one was just a test. This was like, you know what I mean? Like not just because it's going to be posted, but you know what I mean? Like it's just like, you know, I named this episode testing because it was kind of like we are kind of just testing the waters with everything. Life when we experience stuff, it's just testing.
Yeah,
Testing.
Ooh, we're starting.
And so yeah. Again, all right. Love you guys. Follow me for, you know, just stay tuned on my channel for more content. And I love you.
Y'all too. You love y'all too. That was a heart. Play with me.
Love y'all too, Wayne.
That it? It?
Love a black woman from infinity to infinity.
Oh my god. Hey yo.
All right, you guys. Ah! Oh my god. Yes. All right. You know you're about to be viral, right? Just for that entire clip alone. Now there's gonna be more people in you Schlav DMs. Anyway. Okay. Okay. You really want people in your DMs, right? That's what you want. You want
Good
What did she just do?
you want to see when it's posted.
Elizabeth.
Anyway.
OnlyFans at Liz.
How you say only? Yes. All right, all right, all right. All right, you guys. Love y'all.
Procrastination meets imperfection. Am I heading in the right direction? I just wanna lay down, but if I lay down now.